Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 160 of the Seezus Show. We're back yet with another fun-filled week. And surprise, ladies and gentlemen, the NBA is officially back. So moving forward, we're going to give you a little dose of the NFL, a little dose of the NBA. So I hope you guys have enjoyed what you've been listening to thus far, watching thus far, and we just excited to keep this train going, man. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for my boy, for my co-host, for the GOAT, the legend himself, Carl Conyers.
What's good, everybody?
How you living, man? How you been, man?
I'm good, man. This is the start of like the best time of the year, man. We got football and basketball.
Football and basketball, man. So excited, man. I was watching Netflix starting file. I'm like three and a half episodes in, so that definitely got me a little bit more excited for what's to come as well too. And preseason's been looking pretty well, so just excited, like you said. We got sports all around. Otani just had a career-based game a few nights ago,
He
so
had like 3 home runs.
yeah.
It's insane.
Multiple strikeouts. Like he's special. He's special. So
Yeah.
if you definitely in this area, go check out a Dodgers game. Maybe not right now. Tickets probably OD, but he doing all right. So if you can go to like a local bar or something, definitely show him some love. But all across the board, sports has been pretty good. So I love it. But before we get into today's hottest topics, obviously last week we had our week six takeaways and week seven predictions. And we talked a little bit about Joe Flacco, starting and, just a bevy of other topics as well, too. So I hope you guys enjoyed that episode as well. And let's go ahead and get into today's hottest topics. But first, we're going to take a little detour, like I said, with the NFL, and we're going to go straight into the NBA. Week seven officially wrapped up yesterday, had an interesting doubleheader. Obviously, your team played. What were your takeaways overall in its entirety for week seven of the NFL season, man?
Oh, crazy timing. I think that honestly, it's a little bit of the same of what we kind of were saying last week. I still feel like there's not really anybody who's head and shoulders over anyone. Uh, but at the same time, it does feel like we're kind of getting to that point where certain teams are starting to separate, where we're starting to see who's like the Seahawks are good, like there's a lot of these teams where, you might not have been so sure early on in the season if this was going to be a fluke but I also like the Colts. Like they're looking really good and a lot of these other teams. So um yeah, I think that's kind of like one of my big takeaways is just that it still doesn't feel like there's anyone who's like, the clear leader of the pack, but at the same time, it feels like now teams are starting to separate themselves between like, okay, good, middle of the pack and just the bad teams.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. There's no like lead favorite right now, but like you said, the tiers are separating itself, yet it's still up for grabs at the same time. And I kind of agree with you. Just kind of like how you said with the Seahawks, I gotta respect the Colts, right? Like they're the real deal right now. And I don't know how far they're gonna go if they stay consistent and end up making the playoffs, but they will be a hard out. You know what I'm saying? And another thing that I got took away from, I think within the NFC, I've been kind of going back and forth with who's that quarterback. Right now, just based off of individual stats with working with what you got. I know I had Baker on the number one on the tier, but now I'm kind of it's like a three-way race between Baker, Dak, and Stafford. But right now, I got to give it to Dak right now. Joe Flacco looks like he's going to hold the fort down until Joe Burrow comes back. So that could be a little sleeper right there. And just how we kind of talked about a few weeks ago with Jamar Chase being, the crown, the triple crown last year. He's damn near top three in every major statistical category for a wideout as well, too. Looks like the Bears are going to be playoff bound, so that's nice to see. Broncos got that dog in them as well, too. I know we say we don't have a clear-cut favorite, but god damn, in the AFC, it looks like the Chiefs are about to make another deep playoff run, and I'm kind of fearful of that. The Patriots are looking like they're back post Tom Brady era as well, too. 49ers, I think, they may not have all the pieces that they need due to injury, but they've proven from the start of the season up until now, I feel like they are a well-run franchise and a well-oiled machine from the top down. So I enjoy that. And then last but not least, I'm still not sold on Dylan Gabriel, man. Still not sold on him, but
Why
they
would you be sold on him? He hasn't done anything crazy at all.
exactly still not sold on as a starting caliber quarterback, but like we say, he's a third round pick, and they're just gonna have to let him let everything pan out, and hopefully we'll see some shakeup. But when you in the first half only have to throw 7 times, and your run game is working for you, and your defense is looking well, then it is what it is. So those are my big takeaways from week 7 to add on top of your takeaways as well too. So transitioning from that, who's your offensive and defensive player of the week? I think I'll go first. Let me switch up and go first, and let me know if we have any of the same people. So there was so many players offensively. And I think the last couple weeks I've been on my quarterback shit, so I wanted to switch it up. And I'm gonna give love to your boy in Detroit, Mr. Gibbs, 17
Yep.
carries for 136 yards, 2 touchdowns, and added 3 receptions for 82 yards. And showed up on Monday Night Football. Both of those teams were one of the hottest teams in the NFC, and you guys got the better out of them as well too. And then for my defensive player of the week, I'm gonna go with Micah Parsons. I think he was dominant off the edge for the Packers in their win. And I think they said he totaled 9 pressures, and he also had 3 sacks. And led all players with an incredible 43.8 pass rush win rate. That defense is looking like it's back to where it was at the start of the season before they had that little fall off. But those are my offensive and defensive players of the week. What about you?
No, literally had the exact same. Like I think Gibbs was definitely my offensive player of the week. He had over 200 all-purpose yards, 2 touchdowns. Really dominated that game, for a game where we put up a lot of offensive yards. It was really only him and Amon-Ra St. Brown that like did anything. But yeah, no, he was a huge part of that. So that's definitely who I had for the offensive player of the week, and then also definitely had Parsons, like the 3 sacks and just his overall impact on the game really stood out the most to me.
Yeah, so looks like they went in the trade. Yeah, I like where the Packers are going. I like where the Packers are going. Mike Evans, man, seems like he just can't catch a break this season. Monday Night Football, obviously, he suffered a broken collarbone of week 7 of Monday Night Football, and he also, I think, he got a slight concussion.
Concussion, yeah.
He's expected to miss most of the rest of the 2025 season, so that's kind of tough. Basically, I think it was like a third and long. Baker Mayfield slung that rock to him, like zipped it right through. He caught it, and then I was like, "Damn!" I was shocked he caught. I wasn't shocked he caught it, but I was just like, "Okay, he's back. Like this is what he does." And then the way he just fell, I was like,
Yeah.
"Man, something's wrong." I was like, "Is it a concussion, or did he like tweak his hamstring and he can't get up?" And then once they revealed that, I was like, "Oh, okay, broken clavicle. Yeah, you're cooked."
Yeah.
So. No timeline for his return. Like they said, they're optimistic that he can possibly come back towards the end of the season. Obviously, he's been out for the past couple of weeks as well, too, and Baker Mayfield has been able to kind of hold the fort down. But it looks like they've at this point in the season kind of been hit with the injury bug, man. What are your thoughts on Mike Evans getting hurt and the state of the Bucks moving forward?
I mean, for me, honestly, I'm the most sad about like his 1,000 yard streak definitely gonna come to an end. I think, Mike Evans was like quietly one of the best receivers in the league for the past several years. And, you don't always need stats to back that up, but it was just a cool streak that he had. So yeah, it sucks that that's gonna happen, but uh I think that we'll see how deeply this affects the Bucks because they were playing without him the last couple of weeks and still managed to win games. And their rookie Igbuka, I think, he was coming back himself from a hamstring injury this last game, so I don't think he was 100%, but hopefully by their next game he'll be in better shape. They still have who is it like Tez, that other rookie, he looks really good. And then Godwin, has he even played at all this year? He played and got injured again?
I think he tried to give it a go and just, I think they shut him down. I haven't really heard from him like that.
Yeah, I haven't even heard nothing on him for real. But you know, if he comes back or not, I just think that they have one. Really, they need to get Bucky Irving back. I think if they get their running back and just at least have Egbuka, that they have a pretty good shot, especially the way that Baker's been playing overall. So you know, like, I mean, of course, this is devastating, but the reports are that he could potentially be back for the playoffs. So I think they're definitely going to make the playoffs with or without him.
Yeah, and they're in a good enough division to get it done. And the fact that they have
The
those,
Drive into Fall event
the fact
starts
that they
now.
have those many wins over their division, they're in a pretty good spot. And like you said, they've played without Mike Evans for a while. So I think they will be good. Like you said, the running game, they definitely need to get their running back because Baker shouldn't be throwing almost 50 passes. Granted, you have to throw a little bit more when you're a little bit down, but you need a good balance on offense if you want to, stand a chance in the NFL. But like you said, I was just looking it up when you talked about Mike Evans. I knew he had a streak, but I didn't know it was a streak of 11 consecutive 1,000-yard receiving seasons.
Nuts.
So yeah, that definitely is going to get broken, which is unfortunate, but injuries are a part of the game. And at first I was like, is he injury prone? I mean, he would be have knick-knack injuries here and there, but I looked at his injury history. He only really had hamstring and groin, and obviously growing, this past couple of weeks. But to have something else at 32, that sucks. Luckily, his hamstring will be able to get 100% if it wasn't, and it was a lower body injury. So he's a tough guy. So I think he's gonna be back probably towards the end of the year, but only time will tell because he is 32 years old. So we'll see how his body responds. But like you said, I agree. I think the Bucks shouldn't be panicking or anything like that. They got to get enough cushion, and I think they will be representing that division when it's all said and done. So it is what it is. Your top 12 QB list of week 7 going into week 8. You go first. Who you got?
Okay. So, little switch up here. At 12, I have Jordan Love.
Okay.
Um, you know, he's not been, he just hasn't really like lit it up so far, but he hasn't really been bad either. Uh,
Mm.
then next, I have Daniel Jones. Uh,
Mm.
I think he's been playing really, really well. You can't really take anything away from him. I think that he's definitely, of course, benefiting from having Jonathan Taylor, who's just kind of going nuts right now. But yeah, no, Daniel Jones has been hooping. And it's funny enough, the basketball's back. But yeah. Then I have Justin Herbert. Then I have Jaden Daniels. Then I have Sam Darnold. Then Jared Goff. Then Drake May.
That's
I
6.
think Drake May is going nuts, and people are talking about like he's really the main reason that the Patriots are good right now. Like their running backs are still pretty mid. Stephon Diggs is kind of like the only real receiver that they have. And yeah, he's been going crazy. Sorry. Then I have Stafford.
At 5.
Yep.
Okay.
And then after that, it's Josh Allen, Dak,
4, 3,
Baker, and
2.
Mahomes.
Okay. Not
Baker
bad.
moved
Not
back.
bad.
Honestly, yeah, Baker moved back just one spot for me, just off of this last game. He didn't really play that great.
Mhm.
I think Mahomes, now that he has his full complement of players back, looked really good.
Okay. I'm not mad at that at all. 12. So I had, because like I said, I kind of try to go week by week, right? So Jaden Daniels got off of my list, but he's right on the cusp. So number 12, I gave it to Jalen Hurts because he had a bounce back game. At 11, I had Bo Nix. I love how he's been playing as of late, especially with that comeback against the Giants. At 10, I had Jordan Love. Like you said, he's been pretty consistent, hasn't done anything crazy, but has been doing his job. Um, 9, Sam Darnold. I used to hate on him, but like I said, he's a starting quarterback in this league, and the Seahawks are looking good. I was kind of laughing when he got signed by the Seahawks, and they didn't want to extend him with the Vikings, and I was like, yeah, he's left for dead, but he's been proving me wrong. 8, I had Daniel Jones. Like you said, he's been doing great. He's been doing what he's been called upon to do. And obviously, it helps having that running back. So I'm curious to see kind of like how they did Lamar Jackson earlier on in his career when they take away the run game and they force you to pass that football. How are you going to respond? But luckily, they don't have to worry about that till now. Seven, I had Jared Goff. Jared Goff just being Jared Goff. Six, I had Josh Allen. Has not been playing well the last 2 weeks, and there's been other quarterbacks that are worthy of those top spots. Number five, I have his rival, Drake May, in that division at number five. Four, Baker Mayfield slipped a little bit due to that game. Obviously, the game plan kind of goes out the door when some of your weapons are gone and you have to kind of go on the fly, but still kind of hold that against him just a little bit so he didn't drop too much. Three, Stafford. Two, Dak. And number one,
You already know.
Patrick Mahomes, man. Can't hate. That boy, like you said, got his core back. That defense always gonna be there. Travis Kelce's been a little bit more better. And like I said earlier, they it's looking scary right now. That's all I'm saying. It's looking scary. So that was my top 12 list, and enjoy yours as well too. Um, Fantasy waivers, bro. Who you got this week, man?
There wasn't a whole lot this week for me.
Mhm.
But there was like one really, really big option, and to me, that is the tight end from the Chargers. Um, Gadsden, if I'm saying
Mhm.
that right. Gadsden the second. He had a crazy game, had a really crazy game, and you look back, it's looking like he's becoming a favorite of Justin Herbert. They kind of have, it's crazy because nobody, looked at their receiving core this year and was like, oh, it's going to be insane. But they really have a lot of weapons on that Chargers offense right now. And then going to defense, I have the Falcons defense. I think just the matchup, playing the Dolphins, the Tua just threw 3 picks
Huh.
last game. Just doesn't, I don't know what's going on with them right now. But yeah, I think that that's a really good option. And then also, if you're in need of a quarterback, I I honestly think that Flacco is a good option. He
Especially,
has
Jets. Yeah.
sometimes, if you have the right things around you, like i.e., like Brock Purdy when he had all those weapons and stuff like that, you don't have to be amazing. And he has Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, and the running game actually looked decent these last 2 games. So I think that he's a good streaming option.
I'm not mad at that. Those are great picks. I hope you guys are locked in with that. And the last NFL topic before we transition over to the NBA are week 8 predictions. Like I said, it's always some BS that's going on. It's really hard to bet nowadays, especially in the NFL these first couple of weeks. But for week 8, Thursday night football on Prime Video, the Chargers are hosting the Vikings. Who you got?
Chargers.
I want them to have a bounce back. So I want to go with the Chargers as well too. Carson Wentz is kind of and I think the Chargers should take care of it at home because the Chiefs are creeping up and the Broncos are looking good. At first, I thought to start the season, I knew it was going to take a while for the Chiefs to get things together. And off of the success of what Bo Nix and that team with Sean Payton done last year, I was like, okay, that's a threat. But I thought the Chargers were going to be that team to actually shock us, but. If they lose this one, they may be looking from the outside in, so they got to get their shit together.
Yeah.
Panthers are hosting the Bills. Panthers are 4-3, and the Bills are 4-2 coming off of a bye. Who you got?
I'm gonna go with the Bills.
I'm gonna go with the Bills because obviously I'm a Bills fan, but outside of that, I feel like with having some key players come back on both ends of the floor or of the field rather, and to truly have that bye week, so you're spending even more time prepping for a specific team. I think that you're at an advantage. So I'm gonna go with the Bills. Um, Bengals Jets. Obviously, you told us to pick up a quarterback if we needed one in Joe Flacco. So we both agreed that it's going to be the Bengals and the Jets are going to go to from 0-7 to 0-8. Um, Ravens Bears. The Ravens are hosting the Bears. Who you got?
Is Lamar back?
Let me check. Um, it says he's still questionable, so there hasn't been an update since. Um, and this, yeah, there's no update yet. So And they 1-5. Ain't no point in bringing them back, man. I'm going with the Bears.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if Lamar's not back, then I have to go with the Bears for sure.
Yeah. Uh, and obviously, you talked about a defense to pick in the Atlanta Falcons. They're hosting the Dolphins, so we can both agree we're going with the Falcons. Texans, 2-4. They're hosting the 49ers. Who you got?
Niners.
The Niners, too. Uh, rematch Eagles Giants, man. Giants just had a heartbreaking loss. They're gonna look to bounce back, and the Eagles just had a pretty solid offensive game plan for the Vikings. But who you got this time? It's in Philly.
I'm a I actually am gonna go with the Giants. Jackson Dart, even though they just lost that last game, he's looked really good.
Mhm. Okay. All right. I'm gonna go with the home team. I'm gonna go with the Eagles. I feel like because they matched up with them now and kind of know what to expect from them, I think they're gonna be much more locked in. Um, Patriots Browns, man. Who you got?
Pats, easy.
I got the Pats, but I'm curious to see I'm not even talking about Dylan Gabriel. I just want to see how Drake May goes up against a top-rated defense. So if he can put up a lot of points on that end, then it's looking scary for Buffalo in the AFC East. Saints are hosting the Bucks. Who you got?
Bucks.
Yeah, same. Colts hosting the Titans. I feel like we both are in agreement that the Colts got that.
Yeah,
Yeah. Broncos are hosting the Cowboys. That's going to be a good game. Who you got?
Cowboys.
Ooh. I'm going to go with the home team. I'm going to go with Broncos.
Okay.
I'm going to go with the Broncos. I'm going to go with the Broncos. Steelers are hosting the Packers. Aaron Rodgers, I think it's his first time back in Lambeau. I'm not quite sure since he's left. That's another hot game. Who you got?
Packers.
I'm going to go with the Steelers. I'm going to go with the
Okay.
Steelers. Yeah, I'm going to go with Steelers. Another cop out home team. And last but not least, the Chiefs are hosting the Commanders. I think Jaden Daniels, did he go out of
He
last
did,
game
I
with the
think,
Commanders?
but
Questionable.
regardless, I'm going with the Chiefs, even if Jay Daniels.
Yeah, yeah. Regardless, going with the Chiefs. Hamstring questionable. Yeah, going with the Chiefs about to be 5-3 and rocks in number 2 in their division. So that's crazy. So that was our NFL segment. Hope you guys enjoyed that quick clockwork, that quick sprint. Now over to a quick sprint with the NBA, man. Opening week has just debuted, my guy. We had it's double OT still. I'm seeing right now.
Yeah.
Um, Thunder are hosting the Rockets right now. Obviously, ring night, and then the Lakers are hosting the Warriors. But outside of just their game in general, I don't know if you're able to take a look at. Obviously, when the opening week happening, we just got the new deal with NBC. NBC. So, what are your thoughts on the opening week, the NBA being back, the presentation? If you got to take a look at that, what are you kind of most excited about? Just let me in the state of mind for Carl Conyers with the NBA coming back.
I don't really care about the whole presentation thing, honestly. I've been seeing a lot of people in some of my group chats talking about it, and it doesn't, it's not a whole lot different for me. I don't know, like I'm here to watch the game anyway. Um, and I didn't like they made a big thing of what was it? MJ doing the halftime, and he literally like it looked like it was a snippet from an interview or something like that. Like it wasn't anything. So I was kind of disappointed at that. But needless to say, overall, I'm just very excited. I think this is going to be a good NBA season. It feels like we're still kind of in this parity era. So although the Thunder just won this double overtime game against the Rockets, they look really good. The Rockets also look really good with KD. Um, so, and we still haven't seen any it's kind of funny that tonight is all West teams, right?
Oh shit, you're right.
Yeah, yeah. So we still haven't we haven't seen any teams from the East, so we'll see what they're looking like. But yeah, no, I'm excited. I think all these awards kind of feel like they're up for grabs right now. And it's gonna be a really good season.
Is it outside of the topics? Obviously, we already have like after this. Are there any? Are there any players or a specific team or a specific narrative that you are kind of looking most forward to this season?
Um, I think I want to see what the Celtics are about to do. Honestly, I think I want to see if they're going to still manage to be at least like a playoff team, how that's going to go. Um, and the Bucks. I'm very interested to see what's going to happen with the Bucks and Giannis because that team looks like ass to me, but the East also isn't always that amazing. So that's what's really going to be interesting, I think.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Yeah, NBC presentation. Obviously, it fits that old school vibe, but honestly, like even though I'm 31, like I don't really remember NBC like that as well too. So when I saw that little trailer on all like the younger players, and then it transitioned to like the older players with the KD, Steph, and Bron, kind of talked about NBA. I was kind of like with Joel Embiid and Wemby. I was like, dude, the only thing I can kind of think about NBC is like obviously the theme song itself, and then like Michael Jordan. But like I said, I was too young to kind of comprehend what was going on. But I'm happy for the people who it provides that nostalgic aspect to as well. To me, like you said, I kind of come to watch the games itself, but it was nice to see. I don't know if it was just a one-off because it was ring ceremony night, but the starting lineups, that's one thing that I did used to enjoy at least back in the day as well too. It looks like they're bringing that back. The crew was pretty cool. Melo kind of looked out of sync. It looked like he just flew from New York from his podcast. Everybody had a suit on, and he was just chilling in some casual wear. So I do like the new ensemble of the crew. It feels a little bit fresh, a little bit more organic as well too. Um, but honestly, it feels to me it's kind of like a season-long NBA Finals vibe. Like that's kind of the vibe with the presentation with ABC. That's what I kind of felt. And then to kind of harp on what you said about the Michael Jordan aspect, now that I saw that, obviously it's going to be for viewer retention itself too, to stay on that platform. But also, thinking about what you said, I feel like it's kind of like a long ass podcast that they kind of recorded during the summertime, right? Where, like you said, it looked like it was just kind of clipped.
It
Because next,
literally looks like they just did a long interview and then they're just going to give us clips from that interview over the whole season. I'm like, what are we doing?
exactly. They may do another one later. So, I mean, like I said, it's good to at least see him talk because most of these, greats always want to kind of stay relevant in some shape or form, and he's kind of under the radar. Every now and then he'll have a word to say. But it's gonna be cool to just hear from, his thought process with where the game's going and all these other stuff as well too. Because I think next week he's talking about like the inner excellence with like load management and how he went about playing 82 games or whatnot as well too. As far as like excitements, I'm excited to see what my Spurs do. A lot of people have been putting a lot of hype around Victor Wembanyama, and from what I've seen in the preseason up until now, it's looking scary. I was listening to Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce's podcast, and he worked out with KG a little bit this summer, and then he also worked out with Hakeem. And KG, he liked to cite shit. He was basically saying he kind of reminds him of like a Shaq mixed with like KD build as well too. And you kind of saw a little bit of, obviously he's not as strong as Shaq and whatnot, but you can kind of see like that low post presence dominance mixed with that finesse to his game like a KD. So I'm excited to see if he can stay healthy and see where they're gonna go. And kind of like you, man. I want to see what Giannis kind of does by himself, not having that co-star anymore. I'm looking forward to that. And then with all that beef that's been going on with Trey Young and Patrick Beverly, you got a squad this year. There's a lot of injured players in the Eastern Conference, so on paper, the Atlanta Hawks should be a top four, top five team. So we'll see what they do. We'll see if Trey Young can lead them as well too. But I'm excited to see what the NBA has to hold. OKC just won. Obviously, you kind of talked about how well they looked and how good KD looked with the Rockets as well too. Can OKC repeat, man?
I think they can for sure. Definitely think they can repeat. They look good again, and also they won tonight without J-Dub. So that's some money they're going to have usually for most of the season. And Chet looks like he's a little bit better. They still have all these role players. And it's honestly, OKC is just scary because they have their stars and they still have all these draft picks. So like one of them last year was AJ Mitchell and he had like 16 points off the bench tonight. And then they also have Topic who's injured, but he'll probably come back. He looked decent in summer league and they're just always going to be able to draft new young players to kind of like fit around their stars. So I think that's kind of what makes them scary. It's just like the depth that these picks allow them to have.
Hmm. You see them being a number one seed again, or you think another team from the West is going to emerge in that top spot?
I think they're going to at least be a top two seed. Um, regular season is a marathon, so it doesn't always just mean the best team is going to get that one seed.
Mhm.
But I think they're for sure going to be, if not the one, the two.
Yeah. Now I agree with you, man. The fact that they won at such a relatively young age in comparison to their counterparts, so they know what it takes to win, that's kind of scary. And then we haven't even seen the next level that Jalen Williams is about to take right now. He's kind of coming back from a wrist injury. Like you said, Chet did get better as well too. Still need to put on a little bit of weight, but if he can play. Because last year I think he only played like 30 some games. If he can play at least 50, they in a good state right there too. And like you said, their draft equity and their role players that they re-signed, they don't really have to worry about nothing for a little bit as well too. I think all those are and the defensive versatility, that's something that we really talk about as well too. Those are all the ingredients to at least make a huge run as well too. But right now you kind of have to have them as favorites, but on the side, man, as much as I like them, I do think they're going to be a number one seed just because they don't have to worry about like integrating anybody into their rotation. Um, but Denver, man, they won 7 games with them last year. You know what I'm saying? Michael Porter Jr. had a bummy shoulder, and Jamal Murray was battling some calf soreness, and then also Aaron Gordon calf, and they did reload as well too. So that's another team that I feel like when it's all said and done, the Western Conference, obviously if everyone's relatively healthy, they're going to be right there yet again. Um, with so many, you know, teams being out right now, Joel Embiid just came back and showed glimpses of what he is when he's healthy in that last preseason game. Do you think this is a year where the 76ers can somewhat make some noise? And when I say somewhat make some noise, be back in the playoffs, one and two, at least get past the second round?
Hmm. I don't know, man. Because it's to me, it's more than just Embiid. Like Paul George didn't look good at all last year, and I don't know if I think he's going to be better. And I don't know if I think Embiid is going to, even if he's better than last year, I don't know if he's going to be MVP level.
Yeah.
Then also McCain is still injured. Like I don't know, they just have a lot of guys coming back from injury. I don't think that they're going to be as terrible as they were last year, but I just don't know about. I definitely don't think they're going to get past the second round. I just don't. For sure.
Hmm.
They're going to be a playoff team, I think, if they have a decent bill of health. But I don't think that they're going to be scaring anybody. I think it's kind of a wrap for Embiid unless he's on a team with some like much better players.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, he showed flashes of his old self, prompting some form of hope to for him returning to his dominant self as well too. Because one of my dream matchups that I've always wanted to kind of see from a final standpoint is just the best Western big versus the best Eastern big in centers. So Joel Embiid going up against Joker. Probably never going to see that as well too. But he damn near really didn't play last year. Like you said, Paul George was battling injuries as well too. And they can never really, be consistent together. But on paper, I mean, if they kind of get things together, like I said, a healthy Embiid, Paul George alongside Tyrese Maxey, who's all-star talent, and VJ Ekholm's been looking really, really good. Jerry McCain's going to eventually get back. Like they have the pieces to at least get to the playoffs, but outside of that, like you said, the biggest thing is kind of like you said, that red flag with health, and for their top paid players to be banged up this early is a little bit concerning, but hopefully this year, man, they kind of fix some things up, man, because I can't stand when top talent players aren't there for when it matters the most. So we'll see what happens with that. Um, Which team you feel like has the most pressure this year from the East or West? Just pick one team. Why?
I think honestly, someone like, there's always pressure of like repeating, but I don't think that that's super, like you just won the championship. So if you don't repeat, it's not like super disappointing. Because I feel like a lot of people would say OKC. I'm actually gonna go with the Warriors. I think just because their
Ooh.
roster is so old, it really feels like maybe you'll be able to contend again next year, but it really feels like this is kind of that year. Like Jimmy's old as hell, Steph is old, Draymond's old. You signed old ass Al Horford. Whatever's going on with Kuminga, it doesn't look like he's going to be there that long. So that's kind of one of your youth pieces as well. Uh, so yeah, it just feels like this is kind of that, little twilight era of if it doesn't get done this year, I'm not sure that it's really going to happen again unless they're able to swing some other crazy trade.
Interesting, interesting, interesting. Yeah, I kind of agree with you as well too. How a lot of people would say OKC, but just based off of the Warriors going back to back, no other team really goes back to back like that in general. So I'm not really putting any pressure on them as well too. I went with the Knicks just because I feel like the Eastern Conference is wide open. You know, Tyrese with the Pacers, Tatum with the Celtics, no Dame or quote unquote 1B to go alongside of Giannis. We just talked about the 76ers. Who knows if they're ever going to get healthy as a whole as well, too. So I feel like it's wide open. You have a coach who has been on at least a championship coaching staff, and has taken his teams to deep playoff runs and to the finals as well, too, with Mike Brown. And I feel like with the contract timelines of the Knicks as well, too. Um, they need it now more than ever because in a little bit that luxury tax is going to come to hit them as well too. So they have a limited time, in my opinion. I feel like to win a championship with Jalen Brunson on an affordable contract. They added Yabusele, they added Jordan Clarkson, so they kind of somewhat short of their bench. But like I said, the East is wide open. So I would say the Cavs, but just because of all that they've done to be and win now so fast, I'm going with the New York Knicks for my team that has the most pressure. And then last but not least, I know it's early, but I like to have some preseason award predictions. We can just go back and forth. Who you have right now as your favorite to win MVP?
I have Yoke.
Mm.
I think he should have won it last year.
Yeah, I think they obviously they gave it to Shea as well too. Unless they win unless they do better than they did last year, I would have Shea, but I like the new additions that the Denver Nuggets do have. I'm really high on the Denver Nuggets this year, so I'm going with Joker as well too. Rookie of the year, who you got?
This one I think is gonna be Flag. I think there's a lot of good rookies in this class, but I think he's kind of has the probably most open path to kind of being that guy right now, especially with Kyrie out and AD is not a you have to get the ball to AD, like so Flag will probably have the ball in his hands a lot more. So yeah, that's why I'm gonna go with him.
Yeah, I was torn between that because I was thinking Flag, but I think with Flag is going to depend
Don't
how.
pick the nigga from the Spurs.
No, I mean, nah, there's too many guards on our team. I was gonna go with Ace Bailey
Okay.
for the Utah Jazz. Obviously, you just got what's the center's name again? Laurie. You got Laurie, but outside of that, like he's gonna have the green light. And honestly, I think this is the best situation that kind of happened to him, falling that much. So he's gonna definitely be on his mellow shit. So I got him, but I wouldn't be surprised, like you said, if with Kyrie being out, and I think that they said they're moving Cooper Flag, or at least experimenting with it early on in the season to him moving point guard. I feel like if he averaged just like 14, 5, and like 4 and they're a playoff team, I feel like they're gonna give it to them. But if they're looking from the outside in and they're a play in, borderline play in, looking from the outside, I think they probably gonna give it to Ace Bailey. So I got Ace Bailey. DPOY, I think we got the same person, Wemby,
Yeah, that's clear as day.
clear as day. Who you got coach of the year?
That one is tough. I mean, I
Yeah, that's up for grabs. Look, yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
I
I
went
guess
with
I
Mike Brown. I went with Mike Brown. I was like, all right, you on a new team. Um, East up for grabs. Y'all, on in theory, on paper, y'all should get the number one and number two seed. And it's your first time coaching in a while. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Mike Brown.
I go with the going back to Denver actually. I think they're gonna have a pretty good year this regular season.
His
Uh,
first year as full-time head coach, right? Because they
yeah,
fired Mike Malone towards the end of last season, right?
yeah, at the end of last season.
Forgot about that. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. We'll see. What about most improved? It's a tough one. I was thinking about that too. I'm gonna go with a cop out for now. I'm gonna just say Amin Thompson, just because I feel like with Fred VanVleet out, he's kind of gotten. It feels like they're gonna kind of do it by committee, but it looked like even today, even though they kind of did it by committee, he had the ball in his hands a lot. So I think through time, he's gonna definitely be that reliable third option from them from a scoring and production standpoint. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's him, especially if they finish like a top three, top four seed.
You know, I was thinking about him too. I just feel like that's kind of that's what a lot of people are gonna say. I kind of want to, honestly, this one I would rather just wait for a couple of games because I think that there's always going to be people you just don't expect, who it's like, oh, now you're getting minutes and now you actually look like a player. Because right now it really feels like kind of Thompson is the only one that I'm seeing on a lot of people's lists.
Okay, and then last but not least, any early predictions for six man of the year?
I actually like Reed Shepard looked decent tonight. He didn't
Mm,
look great on defense, but most six men don't.
yeah.
But they need a point guard and he can shoot that bitch.
I ain't mad at that. I ain't mad at that. Um, I was gonna go with Brooke Lopez on the Clippers, but
I don't know if his role is going to be big enough.
so yeah, that's why I was like, but man, he reunited back in Denver, man. Let me go with Bruce Brown, man. Let me go with Bruce Brown.
Bet.
Paul Murray knees be a little shaky, so he definitely not going to play at least 15, 20 games. Come and be that Swiss Army knife. So I'm rocking with Bruce Brown.
Bet.
Cool, man. Any closing remarks for episode 160?
Just excited, man, to really get into these games. We just had two today, but to really see how all these teams are looking, at least in this early portion of the season. And shout out to Luca, bro. He really lost a lot of weight. Like it is clear you can see the difference in his just overall physique. And I think a lot of that is because the Mavs just decided to give up on bro.
Mm. Sometimes we need to get your heart broken to remember you him and get back to it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what the future holds for them as well too. I'm excited to see the second half of this Lakers Warriors game as well too. So yeah, that's about it, ladies and gentlemen. That was episode 160 of the Season Show. Make sure to subscribe on all forms of social media at the Season Show at Carl Conyers at Search Seasons. We out.